These next videos are going to be on cleaning up and naming the first writer's formats in Psalms, and this will be over 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to combine them together, but what I'm going to do is kind of give a review. Wait a second. How come it's not popping up? How come it's not popping up? Did it pop up? Okay. I don't know how long these are going to be because I'm just starting them. I'm trying to keep them under an hour. But this is what I started with. And when this was the first one, and what I did was just showed you where the verses went when you start making smaller verses. And then what I did was I started editing the text, and I went through and I explained each of these that I'd done. Now, what I ended up with was text like this. Now, what we're going to do is go to the next step, and that is, I'll just copy this and bring it down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the other things that I need to do to edit this to fit a format. Whoops, let me bring this down further so we don't have that dividing line in there. Or a page division. Blessed is man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked. Well, I think the word wicked is what is really important, but we need to add this and get rid of this. You don't walk in the counsel of the wicked. You stay away from the wicked altogether. So who does not walk with the wicked, nor stand not in the path of sinners? We don't walk around or make room for them. It would be for sinners here, and the path is not needed. Or stand up for the sinner. Okay, so this needs to be added. Now, this type of editing I was doing more and more in the other ones, but I know that this was just the first one, so I went a little bit light, I would say. Nor sit by. Some of you might have seen some of the other videos. So anyway, this is kind of what I would do more and more editing and then get to the final group. So I'm kind of backing up and doing this. And just like this, for their delight is the laws. I explained that the laws are more commands because he gave us a lot of commands, and that included the commandments, the statutes, and the laws. So I needed to correct this word in here, because if you just pay attention to his laws, that's not important. The commandments are the most important. Those are the ones that are needed for the forgiveness, forgiving to enter into heaven. And it's not, it would be for before his laws they think about daily. And they will be like a tree. No, they are like a tree. Now these first few, well, they are like a tree, and then that means there's only this one Hebrew word here in this verse that you would find in Strong's Concordance. So, and firmly would not be needed, planted by water. And whatever they do, they prosper. Okay. But here I'm going to need one verse or two verse, because if you notice how this is a two verse here, and this is a two verse, and this is a two verse, even though that this first one's telling us that there could be a four verse here. Now I need to take this and see how it works out here, and I would just need to say the wicked are like chaff which the wind blows away. See how the verses are tying together. And if we look at this one here, they are like a tree planted by water, and whatever they do, they prosper. So you don't need the, even though the leaves of a tree would not wither when it's well watered, they do wither and they do fall away. Some of them would. But the object here is to find a two verse, because when we find a two verse, we know we're getting closer. Now this, it doesn't, the wind doesn't drive it away, it blows it away. When you're this chaff is what that is when they harvest the wheat, they'll first shake out the wheat off of they'll bundle the wheat as, I guess that's called sheaves, that'll be put together. And then what they'll do is take it and they'll knock all the seeds off. And then they have to take the shaft off, the little shell around the seed itself. And what they do is they toss it up in the air with forks. They're called winnowing forks, I believe. And they'll stick it up there and the wind will blow this chaff away. So the wicked are like chaff which the wind blows away. Okay, therefore the wicked, and what I did was I put words in yellow that were standing out and that needed more editing. Now, what I'm seeing here though, the wicked will not stand in judgment, nor the sinners in the assembly of the righteous, will not stand in his judgment, will not stand up in his judgment. So, and his, I'm hoping that reads, oops, need to add that. The wicked are like chaff which the wind blows away. For the wicked will not for the wicked will not stand up in his judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of his righteous. His righteous. For YV knows the way. Now, if you've watched me do these later, this way of life, the more I kept editing this word way, it means way of life for the righteous. And we could put his righteous, but we'll just put the righteous and give them a capital letter, because they're the good people. And then have to say that this was added. That was the way of life for the righteous. And the way of life, I guess, for the wicked as well. Well, the wicked, actually it will be he will let perish, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be, because we're talking about the family unit, okay, when I'm doing this. And I guess I put that first. So let me take this and put that will let he lets perish. Now we've got to clean this up, and what we're going to do is I'm going to take it over to another screen, because I'm going to try to do this a little bit quicker by already having it set up. Whoops, it should be over here on this other page. And I need to go here and then back that up, replace all that, and then 1, 2, get rid of formatting, 1, and do that. Now, I thought it would be quicker over there because I don't have to open up the page all the time. And then it comes out something like this. Okay, now I'm going to make this text a little bit smaller. Let me see on your page, what does it look like? Yeah, if I set it here and work on it. Blessed is man who does not walk with the wicked, nor stand for the sinners, nor sit by the seat of the scuffer. And the word the scuffer. And I'm hoping you understand the scuffer would be one that scuffs against our Creator, according to what the words here are. For their delight is the commands from YHVH, for his commands they think about daily. Then this verse would hook to here. They are like a tree planted by water, and whatever they do, they prosper. The wicked are like chaff which the wind blows away, for the wicked will not stand up in his judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of his righteous. For YHVH knows the way of the righteous, and the way of the wicked he lets perish. Now that we have verses like this, that 2 hook here, 2 hook here, and 2 hook here, and we just have a set of 2, we can say that this is missing text. Now, as you've seen, I can also say, okay, these are 2 verse, okay, but we know that this looks good. This looks like this could be the end, but the object is this is telling me that these verses can go together because we have so many of them. But this would be one copyright way, and I just did that, and now I have another copyright by saying, okay, here's these. Now, how would I title this? Well, I would have to title it the righteous and the wicked. Okay, now that's just a quick title to place them all into groups of like titles. Okay, and if I just take this word here and copy it and clean it up and go back up here and put it here like that, then we have all the editing done. Now what I'm going to do is at some point put all these into PDFs, and that way you can look at them again and review what's been done, because when I go to the next set I'm going to be organizing them. Now let's get to number 2 here. Whoops, got ahead of myself here. We started here, but in the middle of what I was doing, I decided to go through and find all the Hebrew words, and this is the Hebrew word here, and put that in, and showed you that they used the word Lord, but they actually used all capital letters. And what had happened after I put this word in here and went through many verses, I decided that yes, the title Lord fits very well. But what I had done was I had put his name in here, YV, and it was not, and I had to recorrect it. So here I'm putting, I had to add the word our Lord. Now this is kind of where we left off, and you can see that I put these in large groups because not did 4 verse work, it was 6 verse working. This was very unique that it was doing this. So what I want to do here is clean up. Why are the nations in an uproar? For the people are devising vain things. For the kings of the earth, we need to say on earth. The kings on earth have taken their stand. And their rulers have counseled against YV, saying, let us tear his fretters apart. Now these would be Jesus, okay? Well, I guess, no, I'm sorry. And his cords from us, meaning they don't want to pay attention to our Creator, saying, let us tear his fretters apart, cast away his cords from us. He who rules from heaven laughs, and then our Lord will scoff at them. He will speak to them in his anger and terrify them in his fury by saying, I have given your king a kingdom. Now see, this is definitely Jesus. So we put the text here in red. Above Zion, my holy mountain. Now we don't really need holy here. Above Zion, above my mountain. Above Zion, my mountain. And this is above my mountain, Zion. This is putting his name before this, so the name of his mountain. So you would say mountains are, today we say Mount Zion or Mountain Zion. So what we'll do here, because there's a difference between a mount and a mountain, okay? To explain that is to say a mount is, it's a large block of land, but there's a very large top on it. It rises above. Example, Israel is a hilly country, and some of the hills tops are flat. But if you look at the other side of the Jordan River, the land goes up and then it's flat up on the top, and then it curves down because it has valleys. These are known as mounts, okay? And there's 3 of them. So there's a difference between the words here. So above my Mount Zion, and there's a video in the description below that'll explain Mount Zion as the star's motion and the and we're going to get into that. That's Psalms 48. But the thing here is it's the far north, and only one Bible does tell us the answer. Now, here, he will tell you the promises from YV. This is Jesus. So we have Jesus in the text now, and I will go through and probably do all the editing later. The promises from YV. Let's get rid of that and do this. For he said to him, this would be Jesus. You are my son. Today. Now, I could put the word today I have begotten thee. Okay, and I think that sounds better over there. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to move it over here. Today I have begotten thee. This would still be Jesus, and it's kind of quoting our Creator's words, so I do it like this. You will ask from me. You will ask from, yes. You will ask from me, and this would be Jesus. I added, and then this is no longer ask from me. To give, let's see, give you I can't want to do that red, but these are going to be all enlarged as later. Give you people from every nation. And they were not nations at this time, they were kingdoms. And do this here, and do it like this, and like this. As your inheritance to the not very end, as your inheritance. Oops, I did add that word. Your inheritance. Inheritance to the end of man. And I don't need the word on earth. Okay. Now, this here is Jesus, so he will beat them. with a rod of iron and shatter them like potware. Now you kings should give true judgments and take warning, judges on earth. Worship YV with reverence and rejoice with trembling. Do homage to our Son, and this would be Jesus again, because he's coming. Do homage to David's son. I guess I could put David here to make sure that everybody understands who we are talking about. Lest he become angry. Lest he becomes angry. And you perish from his way of life. And I would have to say for us as well, like that. And now we have a better definition of what his way is. And his wrath, for his wrath will be kindled. How blessed his wrath kindled. Not how, but now. No. Because he's the one that's going to allow us into heaven. So now he will bless. Now he will bless his. All of his? No, just his. Because we know now he will bless his who take refuge in him. And they don't take refuge in him. They who take let's see. Now he will bless his who take I want to just say follow him, but I guess take refuge in him or comfort in him. I would say I could just leave it like it is. Okay, now if I take this text and bring it down here and do a quick cleanup. I don't want to sit here and do all the coloring and all the highlighting of the names, but you can see that what I did was I just did a little bit more correction to make it more truthful. And I mean, some of the words you might argue with, but the point is I'm making them truthful. If you can make them more truthful than me, fine. But I don't think you can do it as well as I can. Sorry, just my ego. And then we have this versing. I guess to put it all on one page, I need to do something. Well, I'm just going to leave it here. I'm going to do it. But what we do have here as a title would be we are to praise Jesus, or we're to honor Jesus. I'm gonna, because this has got to be grouped with Jesus, so I would say I'm just going to put Jesus, and then I'm going to figure out another title later. But I'm also going to go through and clean up, so I better make myself a note, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to excuse me, and what I'm going to do is just begin with these next time, just the final ending. And because I just want to group them together and show how beautiful they are as a group. And on to number 3 here. Let me get rid of some of that and go to, what is it, 3. Now 3 I started here, and you can see I've added the word or the titles through the text. Okay, this is where I finished at. Now what I needed to do was look at them, read them for the final under text here, just to see if I can clean up just a few more words here. Why do my adversaries have increased? For many are rising up against me. Many are saying of my soul, there is no deliverance for him from his God, his creator. Just little words like this that are so important to make it sound first person. But you can see that even though I've got a 2 verse here, I can see that those two, when I'm reading them, they really sound like they should be a paragraph. But you, YV, are my shield about me, my glory, and the one who lifts my head. As I was crying out, it has to be crying out, calling to. I was crying out to YV with my voice. He answered me from his mountain. Say here again, his mountain. I don't think it's holy. The stars aren't holy. But the object is can I put those two together? I'm not sure. I lay down and slept, and I woke, for YV sustains me. Trying to think if I should put the word because I was crying out to YV with my voice, and he answered me from his holy mountain. When I lay down and slept, I woke, for YV sustains me. I will not fear 10,000 people. I'm sorry, I read ahead, and I just know that didn't that seemed to hook to this, but it doesn't. I'm still got this one out here, so I better sit here and say this one's going to be a 2 verse. I will not be afraid of 10,000 men. Or those who set themselves against me. Rise, YV. Save me, my Creator. Wise, rise me. Save me, for you are my Creator. Are my Creator. You smitten all my enemies on their cheek. For you shattered their teeth. That has. You shattered the teeth of the wicked. You will. For you will slap, I guess would be better. Slap. Have to find keys. I'm a hunt and peck kind of guy. You will slap my enemy's cheek and shatter their teeth. And shatter their teeth. And I don't need the words the wicked. For my salvation. Now, salvation, as we know, is from Jesus. Or our Creator is giving us a king to enter into heaven, and He's forgiving us. So, for my salvation comes from YV, and your blessings are upon your nation. Okay. Now, let me clean this one up, and this one will be done. And what would you kind of make a title for this one? Because I can see that I can't really put these into 4 verses without getting rid of a verse. If they were more that hooked together, I would get rid of something like that. Oh, my fingers, come on. And do this. I'm just trying to think. I would calling out to YV clean, just as a reminder for myself. But that's now what I will do is go through, and this one really needs to be a 2-verse. Let me see. I'm just going to say if I do this one, I'm just going to say, yeah, see, I don't have enough to do that correctly. So I'm going to leave this as a 2-verse and go from there. But that's going to be cleaned up. That's fine, I guess. I think I said cleaned up too many times, but the object is I will work this into the next one, and the category will be calling to YV. That's pretty much the text. And I might have to group them as 2-verse, 4-verse, 6-verse, or whatever, but that'll be subsets.